Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A defense of some offensive behavior or some failure to keep a promise, etc. He kept finding excuses to stay. Excuse, overlook, or make allowances for, be lenient with. Excuse someone's behavior. Ask for permission to be released from an engagement. Serve as a reason or cause or justification of. Your need to sleep late does not excuse your late arrival at work. Accept an excuse for. Please excuse my dirty hands. Grant exemption or release to. Please excuse me from this class. Defend, explain, clear away, or make excuses for by reasoning. A poor example. A poor excuse for an automobile. A note explaining an absence. He had to get his mother to write an excuse for him. A defense of some offensive behavior or some failure to keep a promise, etc. Every day he had a new alibi for not getting a job. Exonerate by means of an alibi. Law. A defense by an accused person purporting to show that he or she could not have committed the crime in question. A defense of some offensive behavior or some failure to keep a promise, etc. The act of freeing from guilt or blame. A defense of some offensive behavior or some failure to keep a promise, etc. His transparent self-justification was unacceptable. Excuse, overlook, or make allowances for, be lenient with. She condoned her husband's occasional infidelities. Ask for permission to be released from an engagement. Serve as a reason or cause or justification of. Her recent divorce may explain her reluctance to date again. Make plain and comprehensible. He explained the laws of physics to his students. Define. The committee explained their plan for fundraising to the dean. Accept an excuse for. A warrant granting release from punishment for an offense. The act of excusing a mistake or offense. The formal act of liberating someone. Grant a pardon to. Ford pardoned Nixon. Grant relief or an exemption from a rule or requirement to. She exempted me from the exam. Of goods or funds, not subject to taxation. Income exempt from taxation. Grant exemption or release to. Of persons, freed from or not subject to an obligation or liability, as e.g. taxes, to which others or other things are subject. A beauty somehow exempt from the aging process. Grant exemption or release to. Provide relief for. Free someone temporarily from his or her obligations. Lessen the intensity of or calm. Relieve oneself of troubling information. Provide physical relief, as from pain. This pill will relieve your headaches. Save from ruin, destruction, or harm. Grant relief or an exemption from a rule or requirement to. Alleviate or remove pressure or stress, or make less oppressive. Relieve the pressure and the stress. Grant exemption or release to. Free from a burden, evil, or distress. Take by stealing. The thief relieved me of $100. Acknowledge faults or shortcomings or failing. Defend, explain, clear away, or make excuses for by reasoning. Acknowledge faults or shortcomings or failing. I apologized for being late. Defend, explain, clear away, or make excuses for by reasoning. Weed out unwanted or unnecessary things. Think rationally. Employ logic or reason. Structure and run according to rational or scientific principles in order to achieve desired results. Defend, explain, clear away, or make excuses for by reasoning. Remove irrational quantities from. Weed out unwanted or unnecessary things. Think rationally. Employ logic or reason. When one wonders why one is doing certain things, one should rationalize. Structure and run according to rational or scientific principles in order to achieve desired results. We rationalized the factory's production and raised profits. Defend, explain, clear away, or make excuses for by reasoning. Rationalize the child's seemingly crazy behavior. Remove irrational quantities from. This function can be rationalized. A formal written defense of something you believe in strongly. A poor example. It was an apology for a meal. An expression of regret at having caused trouble for someone. He wrote a letter of apology to the hostess. The speech act of answering an attack on your assertions. In defense, he said the other man started it. Sports. The team that is trying to prevent the other team from scoring. His teams are always good on defense. The defendant and his legal advisors collectively. The defense called for a mistrial. A defendant's answer or plea denying the truth of the charges against him. He gave evidence for the defense. A structure used to defend against attack. The artillery battered down the defenses. The justification for some act or belief. He offered a persuasive defense of the theory. The act of defending someone or something against attack or injury. A good boxer needs a good defense. The federal department responsible for safeguarding national security of the United States, created in 1947. An organization of defenders that provides resistance against attack. He joined the defense against invasion. Military action or resources protecting a country against potential enemies. They died in the defense of Stalingrad. Psychiatry, an unconscious process that tries to reduce the anxiety associated with instinctive desires. Protection from harm. Sanitation is the best defense against disease. The speech act of answering an attack on your assertions. Sports. The team that is trying to prevent the other team from scoring. The defendant and his legal advisors collectively. A defendant's answer or plea denying the truth of the charges against him. A structure used to defend against attack. The justification for some act or belief. The act of defending someone or something against attack or injury. An organization of defenders that provides resistance against attack. Military action or resources protecting a country against potential enemies. Psychiatry, an unconscious process that tries to reduce the anxiety associated with instinctive desires. Protection from harm. The justification for some act or belief. The act of vindicating or defending against criticism or censure, etc. Friends provided a vindication of his position. Absolve from payment. I forgive you your debt. Stop blaming or grant forgiveness. She cannot forgive him for forgetting her birthday. The act of searching for something. A quest for diamonds. Express the need or desire for. She requested an extra bed in her room. Bark with prolonged noises, of dogs. A search for an alternative that meets cognitive criteria. A quest for wealth. Make a search, for. Things that die with their eyes open and questing. Search the trail of, game. The dog went off and quested. Seek alms, as for religious purposes. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Express the need or desire for. Express the need or desire for. She requested an extra bed in her room. The verbal act of requesting. A formal message requesting something that is submitted to an authority. Ask a person to do something. I requested that she type the entire manuscript. Inquire for information. I requested information from the secretary. Express the need or desire for. When you call, always ask for Mary. Increase the likelihood of. Ask for trouble. Express the need or desire for. Request the participation or presence of. Gather or collect. Require is useful, just, or proper. Show to be right by providing justification or proof. Vindicate a claim. Clear of accusation, blame, suspicion, or doubt with supporting proof. You must vindicate yourself and fight this libel. Maintain, uphold, or defend. Vindicate the rights of the citizens. Show to be right by providing justification or proof. Adjust the spaces between words. Justify the margins. Used of God, declare innocent. Absolve from the penalty of sin. Not taken up by scheduled activities. A free hour between classes. Part with a possession or right. Not fixed in position. He pulled his arm free and ran. Relieve from. Free or remove obstruction from. Free a path across the cluttered floor. Remove or force out from a position. He finally could free the legs of the earthquake victim who was buried in the rubble. Grant freedom to. Free from confinement. Make assets available. Release gas or energy as a result of a chemical reaction or physical decomposition. Free from obligations or duties. Make information available for publication. Completely wanting or lacking. People who are free. The home of the free and the brave. Not literal. A free translation of the poem. Without restraint. Costing nothing. Free admission. grant relief or an exemption from a rule or requirement to. Let off the hook. Not held in servitude. After the Civil War he was a free man. Not limited or hampered, not under compulsion or restraint. Free enterprise. Not occupied or in use. A free locker. Unconstrained or not chemically bound in a molecule or not fixed and capable of relatively unrestricted motion. Free expansion. Grant remission of a sin to. The priest absolved him and told him to say 10 Hail Marys. Let off the hook. I absolve you from this responsibility. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. Argue or speak in defense of.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.